Hey, what's going on, guys? So I had quite a few of you people ask me how to get into trucking, and I understand some of you guys come from a checkered background like myself. Um, with these motor carriers, you basically have to. They look back for like DUIs and stuff like that. They look back around 10 years. As far as your criminal record, you can find a bunch of companies that'll hire felons and stuff like that. Hell, there's companies out there that hire felons while they're paroled and they're still under parole there. So I mean, you just got to do your research. As far as paying for your schooling, there is a bunch of schools that work with the carriers. Basically, what you do is you sign a 1-year contract with the carrier. The carrier will pay for your schooling, which runs around $5 to $6 grand in here in Florida. So they'll pay for your schooling. Schooling usually takes about 3 weeks, and then they'll get you signed up. Now you do have to stay with them for a year. If you don't, you have to pay off the balance that you owe the school. So there is that. You're stuck with that one carrier for a whole year, but you do get your CDL, and you are able to hit the road. I know my company, Trans Am, that I work for, because I have a felony in my past. They didn't bat an eye. They hired me, no problem. As far as like careless driving charges, reckless driving charges, those have to be at least 5 years old. Most companies won't take it unless they're at least 5 years old. So, I mean, there's a few things to look into as far as getting accepted into a school, and even the schools themselves, they'll usually do. If you go to a private school like I did, I went to Tampa Truck Driving School. That's a great school, by the way. But if you do that, even the schools really vet you and make sure that they're going to be able to put you in a job with a carrier. So. The number one resource I used was truckingtruth.com. That's a great site. They teach you how to get your CDL. They answer any questions that you might have. As far as what companies are good, they give reviews on all these different types of companies, whether they do hair follicle tests, urine tests, whether they hire felons, the experience you need with these individual companies, what kind of trucks they have and let you use, what are the age of the trucks, when do they start swapping them out. They got forums where basically people ask all different types of newbie questions. I myself am still a newbie with this career, and I'm on there all the time. They even have a CDL prep test and a study guide, so it helps you get it. Hold on a second. So yeah, they even have a CDL prep test, which will help you study for your CDL permit. You get your CDL permit, then you can go and test out in the trucks, learn your back-end maneuvers. You get signed on with a company. So the route I went, my route was pretty difficult. I went with Driver Solutions initially. I called, before I did that, I literally went on Trucking Truth, and you can look at all the carriers. I literally went down the whole list of carriers and started calling them individually. And the great thing about that site is you fill out an application one time, and it basically, you can shoot it out to all these different carriers. So you don't have to keep filling out the application, sending it out, filling it out, sending it out, all that crap. So I did that. Also, guys, when you're filling out your application, if you lie on it, do not do that. They're going to find out. And the last thing you want is for them to accept you somewhere and say, hey, we got orientation down in Knoxville, Tennessee, and you go down there, and day one of your orientation, they run your background. Because they don't do it, they say they do it, but they don't do it before you get down there, because they don't want to waste the money on the background fee and the motor vehicle check and all that other shit. So don't lie on your application, but you can send it out to each one of these carriers, and eventually one of them's going to bite on you. I had Driver Solutions, which is basically a sister company of Pam. They did just that to me. So what they did is they said, oh yeah, we ran your background, we ran your motor vehicle report, everything looks great. We'll have you come over to Lakeland and do your CDL training there, get your CDL from us. Then after that, we'll have you sign a year contract where basically Pam Transport was going to pay for my schooling over there, and then I worked for Pam for a year. Well, what happened was I went down there to that school, and the first week was basically vetting process. So, you know, of course you take your piss test and your physical and all that shit your first day, but by Thursday, you start seeing a whole bunch of these students dropping off. So, and I happen to be one of them. The recruiters completely lied to me. They said they ran my background and motor vehicle report. They didn't. So Pam ended up dropping me. The route I went, if you're currently on unemployment, at least in Florida, and you're collecting unemployment and food stamps and all that jazz like I was, they got what's called a WIOA grant. So you can apply for that through your county, whatever county you're in, whether that be Hillsborough, Pasco, whatnot, and they'll actually pay for your schooling up to $5,000. So I got approved for the WIOA grant, and I went to Tampa truck driving school. Great thing about that is I didn't have to worry about being dropped, and I could also pick my own carrier. In order to go there, though, you needed a pre-hire. So I called up Trans Am because I did my due diligence. They hired felons, and also my motor vehicle record wasn't that great. But they said, yeah, as long as you get your CDL, we'll bring you on. So that's where I'm at. Guys, in the end, you're really just going to have to do your own research. Like I said, truckandtruth.com, that's the way to go. Scour that site, and it'll have all your answers for you. Call all these mega carriers, and send out all these applications. See which ones are going to see which ones will take you, and weigh your options. Obviously, if you if you can quit doing drugs, or you haven't done drugs in 30-60 days, and you're eager to get into the business, it even tells you which companies do hair follicle versus which companies do a piss test. So obviously you wouldn't be able to do a hair follicle because that goes up to 6 months. So just start calling the ones that do a drug test. Just do the urinalysis. So good luck, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hit the like button if you like the video. Thank you for your time.